First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, the elders, the great millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect and sincere Athean, pushing this word, risking their lives and their freedom to do so. And your brother, my young, coming to you with another lesson. Second Esdras 15, verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy that I will put in thy mouth, said the Lord. And that word is my is a possessive pronoun. It's basically he's only speaking to a specific group of people. And that specific group of people are the children of Israel. The Lord established the covenant, the blessings and the promises through sacrifice through the children of Israel. And when Moses came down with the tablet and read it before the children of Israel, not before the world, right? So we're gonna get that out the way right now. The Lord is only talking to a specific group of people. And that specific group of people are the children of Israel. And the children of Israel has been scattered through the four corners of the earth because we disobeyed the law, statutes, and commandments. And that was one of the curses that was placed upon us. When you go to Deuteronomy, I think it was the 28th chapter. Let me get it real quick, 28:64. It says, Deuteronomy 28, verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth, even unto the other. And there thou shalt thou shalt serve other powers which neither thy nor thy fathers have known, either even wood and stone. And when you go back to the first verse, it talk about it says, and it shall come to pass if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy power to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy power will set thee on high above all nations on earth. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power. Now you jump down to verse 15, it's going to talk about if you disobey uh, the laws and commandments of Yahweh Shem Shai, and all the penalties that you're going to face. And one of those penalties was to be scattered through the full corners of the earth and serve other gods. There you go right here, Deuteronomy 20:15. But it shall come to pass if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and the statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. You go back to 64. This is one of the curses that overtook the children of Israel. Deuteronomy 20:64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there uh, thou shalt serve other powers, neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And that's the situation and circumstances that the children of Israel are facing today. We've been scattered through the four corners of the earth, and we serving other gods, and we look like the nations because with Jake, wherever Jake go to, he gonna mingle with the women and produce seed. And after generation after generation after generation, that seed look like the other nations. So you can go into every nation in the face of the earth, Russia to China to India to all these nations in the world, and Jake is gonna be there. But the only way you're gonna understand that is Jake is you're gonna have to have spiritual discernment. Scriptures talk about I think it's right here. Heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. I think it's Jeremiah 12, Jeremiah 12 and 9. I think it is. Well, it says Jeremiah 12, verse 9. Mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about are against her. Come ye assemble all the nations of the field, come to devour. So the Lord's people is a speckled bird. You see a speckled bird has many colors. It's just not one color. So those imposters in the state is not real. They just think they saying they just one color. And that's white. And we already know who they are. The Amalek, the grandson of Esau. The Edomites. The Lord's people look like everything. And although we do have uh, Israelites among that nation too, among those people too, but for the most part, uh, They all Amalek. We go back to Deuteronomy, second Esdras 15, verse 2, and cause them to be written in paper, that they are faithful and true. When you read Romans 15 and 4, I'll do that real quick. He's going to explain to you why these things were written in paper. It says, Romans 15, verse 4, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. And you know, those scattered Israelites that's spent on all nations and serving other gods would be in a downtrodden and oppressed condition at the lowest. Because the scriptures talk about the meek shall inherit the earth. And the first should be last and the last should be first. So Israel, be scattered, is not going to be uh, in a prosperous condition. And we would need these words to rejuvenate us. Because what's the word? The word is Yahweh Shai. That's the breath of life that breathed into the children of Israel and the valley of the dry bones, man. You know what I mean? So it's read it again. For whatsoever things are written aforetime, written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. And the scriptures brought us back to life. There's hope. You know, gave us patience and hope, man. That a better day is coming. And what's that better day? Yahweh Shai. Because he's coming to deliver the children of Israel, the elected the children of Israel from all the places that he scattered us to. Back to second Esdras. It says, verse 3, fear not the imaginations against thee, and let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. Because Jacob is a stiff-necked and rebellious nation. When you go to Ezekiel, the 8th chapter, it talk about Jacob's head being harder than Adam and stone. And the Lord made our head hard against their forehead too. And we know Jacob imagined evil. Jacob imagined evil against us. We out there on the highway in the Bible, you can see their spirit when they walk past. They think that we just some niggas with rags on. You know what I mean? Some low life scumbags say we a spectacle. We are fools for a Mashiach. Fear not the imaginations against you, and let not the incredulity of the trouble be that speak against you. You see? It said, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness, man. And that's the penalty for not believing in Yahweh Shem Shah. When the missiles come, you're going to succumb to a grievous death. Because being burned by fire is one of the worst ways you can leave this earth. And this country, this place, the mystery Babylon, is prescribed a healthy dose of missiles, man. It's going to hit it's going to pelt this land from sea to shining sea. And the only creatures that's going to be able to dwell here are doleful and desert creatures, man. No man will ever be able to inhabit this land again. It's going to be a pillar of smoke, you know what I mean, for the ungodly. Let me get that real quick. So I can't really see it in my glasses. Here you go, right here. Wisdom of Solomon 10 and 7. We start at 6. When ungodly perish, he delivered the righteous man. He fled from the fire which fell down upon the 5 cities. Let's talk about Sodom and Gomorrah. When Lot's wife looked back, because the wealth and the riches of the world had basically mesmerized her. She thought that it was better to go back than to flee the safety with her husband. And then in turn, what happened to her? She got destroyed. It says of those of whose wickedness, even to this day, the wasteland that smoketh is a testimony, and plants bearing fruit that never come to ripeness, and a standing pillar of salt is a monument of an unbelieving soul. And this place is going to be a desert that's continually smoking as a monument for the unfaithful. The 2/3 of our people are going to perish here in Babylon, man. And this place is Sodom and spiritual Sodom in Egypt. Look back to second Esdras 15. It says, it's a lot of people wrong going on. You tripping. Second Esdras 15. Oh, excuse me. It says, behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. And that's what's happening right now. If you have two eyes to see and two ears to hear, and you just look outside and you'll see all these prophecies that the Lord spoke about is coming to pass. We just had an earthquake in Colombia 2 days ago, which killed hundreds of people, probably thousands, buried in the rubble. Then, like 2 months ago, or a month and a half ago, we had an earthquake in Venezuela. You know, we got wars and rumors of wars. We got a war going on right now between Iran and America. We got a war right now going on between Ukraine and Russia. You know, Iran is basically decimating the military bases in the so-called Middle East, in Jordan, UAU, EAU, Kuwait, all the surrounding little countries over there that made an alliance with America. Iran has destroyed the bases, man. Uh, America has had to flee out of the Middle East, right? It says, verse 6, the wickedness have exceedingly polluted the earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. And why the wickedness exceedingly polluted the whole earth? Because Esau, Edom is in control of the earth. So the earth has been given to the hand of the wicked, right? And so as the rulers saw the people, you see? So we live in, we are